Alrighty. Hello, anyone watching this back. Hello, possibly myself watching this back. And hello to the internet. It is. Oh, God, I wish I had more excitement in my voice. It is the day that the final shape. Oh, God, the final shape. The Edge of Fate is officially revealed. And right now it is 22 minutes to the mark of when the reveal starts. I was going to load up Destiny and just kind of hang out, but I was caught in a perpetual loading cycle. And in that perpetual loading cycle, I got the notification the servers were officially down. So I had been seeing other things that also would suggest that Ride of the Nine also would be going live today, which not bad if it does, but at the same time, it is a dungeon focused thing. And as much as there is LFGs and there is going to be many people going in, none of my friends will exactly be excited or going for it. I don't know if you've been catching my streams, but most recently we've been kind of playing more party games. Repo, Helldivers, me and my buddy Google have been playing Ready or Not. It's kind of been a variety pack depending on the way the winds blow. So, in terms of streaming Destiny, that would be a mostly solo project, or in the rare case that I can get people together. However, like I've mentioned in the past, most of my friends, or at least the people I can call my friends, they have pretty much otherwise uninstalled the game. So that leaves me, the lone man on the island, and just dealing with everyone else in their little communities. So let's see, I think the music is still working in here. Yeah, there's still a slight tinge of Destiny music. And you can see my input in the Discord, double ways. Okay, well that's... Hang on. Just gonna turn that off for a second. Sound will also go away. I gotta remember where the overlay tab is. Okay, I think that fixed it. There we go. Yep. So we are just going to vibe in this stream screen for a while. I will keep checking my phone until the Bungie Twitch has officially gone live, which it may have at this point. Usually they kind of give it 10-15 minutes ahead of time. But it's honestly weird with the... Oh, it does actually seem like they're active. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Let's see, Bungie. Let's see, custom tune the audio. Drag this over. Full screen it. So yeah, there is only so much time left to go. Now, also, let me adjust the game audio to be... That should work. Oh, hang on, things are wonky. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out Destiny. There we go. And let's see. Yep, game audio is being received. Just while it is vibe music, I shall keep it up that way, but 18 minutes to go. So we are just going to hang out and see otherwise. All right. Now, I'm honestly curious just how this is gonna go per se. Because classic Bungie, I thought the 9 was never going to be touched officially. I honestly thought that the 9 would have been left out in the cold, dark vacuum of space to be an enigmatic thing that never would have come to pass. I guess I feel like the Destiny 9 would have been what's the word? The Celestials of Marvel, where it's like there's eternity, time, destiny, or whatever the hell. Those big fuckers at the top of the food chain, where it's like they are the embodiment of reality. It's kind of how I've always imagined the 9. I mean, we had what's her name? Who was Orin? Who later became? I forget what even it was called nowadays because it was used so little. The emissary. That's the one. But I'm just legitimately, I am to put on the table. Partially like, what the hell? It took you 10, 11 years of Destiny to give us any answer about the 9. Which, there are some things that should remain enigmatic, as much as human curiosity would say otherwise. But 100%, some things do need to remain a mystery. Like, honestly, as much as the people want it, I feel like actually fighting the winnower or having the winnower be in the field and like being a general for the next big enemy faction, potentially big mistake. Because the Traveler has always been our god, but the Traveler has pretty much almost always been silent, save for the final shape, because, you know, we were literally inside of it. Uh-oh, did I pause something? Or did the stream freeze up? Oh, buffering. Man. Bungie! Let's see, hang on. There we go. Missed 30 seconds, but that's whatever. Now, buffering again. What the hell? Does Twitch not know that I'm streaming a Twitch channel or something? Oh no, it just strudged up. And on that note, we have a 3, 2, 1. There we go. For the memes. I don't know why I always do that into the mic, but I just do it. Oof. Bungie, I know you might have done it otherwise, but I just checked the Bungie announcements page in the Destiny 2 Discord, and the thumbnail for the Edge of Fate reveal event is Heresy Act 2. Unfortunate. Obviously, they may have changed it otherwise, but, you know, that's just kind of how I go. Well, no, they might not have changed it on YouTube, because I know how that works. It will be the initial notification of YouTube. Well, hang on. Nope, that still says Edge of Fate. They may have changed it otherwise, but the initial notification definitely was a little outdated. Man, it's such a weird state of Destiny in terms of what to be looked forward to. Because, I mean, how do I say this? We had Stasis. We had Strand. This just popped up. I'm just going to close that out. We had Stasis. We had Strand. Now we have Prismatic. Prismatic, in the end, I'm going to be frank. It's not really a subclass. It's just been a smashing of subclasses together. Oh, thank you, Lizzie, for the follow. Much appreciated. It's always been such a weird thing because Prismatic, I didn't really consider it a subclass as much as Bungie would, because there was really just two things that were new about the subclass: the combination grenade, and then the new supers that were then retroactive to the other things. So technically, I don't even call Prismatic a subclass, but Bungie have also put themselves in a bit of a wall, because Prismatic is such a powerful subclass. It is such a useful utility compared to most of the rest. The rest still have legs to stand on, but if you want full coverage, Prismatic is the way to go. So the next subclass that comes with Destiny, if that Faded Red subclass or whatever it is ever actually comes, it's gonna have to be an absolute ringer. Because just the amount of buff debuffs that you can get with Prismatic that makes it so powerful in the PvE landscape, that will have to be something spectacular. Which, full disclosure, every time they've added a new subclass, it has been pretty powerful. But then again, that is because I feel like in the comparisons, we've had 3 light subclasses since the Taken King. All 3 of them were lights, and in the end were just pure destruction power. They were damage. No other way to say it. Then the darkness subclasses came around, and then there were less so damage, more so subjugation. Because stasis, slowing, freezing, strand, unraveling, suspending, then who knows what the rest of it could be. Either way, the darkness subclasses were all about disabling your enemies against eradicating your enemies, even though you would still end up eradicating your enemies most of the time. So, yeah, that's just kind of that stance. If we ever get a new subclass, it's really gonna have to be something knocked out of the park. Or hell, maybe give the D1 vets what they've been talking about forever and just say Siva subclass. But, that's just me. That's one of those things. Just, I know I'm a Destiny boomer, and I loved the Siva season, and it has a special place in my heart with Rise of Iron. And it's just like, I loved Siva. I loved Rise of Iron. Wrath Machine, officially. Call me a boomer all you want, but still probably one of my favorite raids. Top 3 contender for sure. Possibly top 1. But it's just like, so much was good about Rise of Iron. Looking back, I don't actually hear anyone speak bad about it. Maybe what came after. Like, I know the Taken King, majorly great expansion, but a lot of people didn't like the massive content drought, and as much as that April update that brought Malak, Taken Armor, and a few of other things, the year of Taken King, a great one to start, but afterwards, it really flattened out. Rise of Iron was a little bit different, because we did have the Dawning, we had the SRL, we had Moments of Triumph, Solstice and everything, the raid refreshes that brought back all the old activities and old gear, raid exotics, or exotic elemental raid weapons, that sort of thing. There was a lot of happenings after Rise of Iron, so I don't look back and say it had a bad spot, per se. Which, I guess that is kind of what leads me into the idea of really wanting Siva back in Destiny in any form, because I don't remember there being anything bad about it. Yes, there were some odd things, but nothing that could be this was a con. But looking back through every year of Destiny 2, of course, vanilla, static rolled weapons, double primary meta, slow sandbox. The story was there, but yeah, I shouldn't have to say much else. Curse of Osiris was a very quick story, but also a very small expansion, considering the, how do I say this? The average world, you had your patrol spaces, and then you had the regions that you could still access, but weren't exactly accessible. Yet Mercury didn't have that. It had the Mercury Little Zone. It had the Infinite Forest. If you had a mission going, you can go into the Infinite Forest and go to that region. But yeah, otherwise, Mercury was just Mercury. It was maybe about half a mile square distance. And adding sparrows to it made it feel even smaller. But I am maybe officially rambling, just trying to fill the void of waiting. But yeah, Osiris, it had that little bit. Warmind was fairly good. It did break the meta a bit though, adding of course the Ikelos weaponry a little bit. I can't think of something bad off the top of my head with Warmind because that was another case of there's a lot going for it. That was the first year of Solstice in Destiny 2, and Solstice of course hit exceptionally well in the first year. And then going on, of course, Forsaken was great. Black Armory was pretty good, but it did have its drawbacks. Of course, thinking back to what I just talked about, Niobe Labs, it was a difficult challenge that restricted access to the rest of the season. That after people stopped liking it or got bored of waiting, they just kind of unlocked it. I shouldn't have to say anything exactly about Season of the Joker or Joker's Wild or Season of the Drifter. However, no one's officially said what that should be called. But Reckoning wasn't bad. It was kind of a, to put a word to it, shitstorm in the start. Gambit Prime was also pretty good, but in the end it was still Gambit. And then there wasn't much else for story developments. There wasn't exactly a seasonal story. I don't remember. But, you know, it still had that cool cutscene with Drifter learning to control the Taken, kind of. But, you know, it's hard to say. I legitimately looking back to all the seasons, I don't know if there was a story. Of course, there wasn't a story like we've had since Undying, where it's week 1 through 8 in story. But I mean, if I really dredged up the depths of Bungie's misfortunes, I could find something that was wrong with any point in Destiny at any point. But like I said, Rise of Iron, it has that good moment. And also might be because that during that time I had known my now decade-long friends, or decades-old friends at this point. So, I don't know. Let's see, what else could be coming? Personally, I know the hype about the Edge of Fate and the teasers is possibly going out of system, which, new territory, officially. There's only so many planets in our solar system, even if we hit every planet and moon, we'd run out of them eventually. So, yeah, going out of the system and creating entirely new worlds that were either terraformed in the past by the Traveler or are not terraformed at all, that's an interesting idea. However, I do think there is some locations in Destiny that are a bit underappreciated. And most, personally, Old Chicago. I have been a fan of the idea of going back to Old Chicago in the kind of swampy area for ages, especially after reading the lore tab on Graviton Lance, where it kind of implied that, or I forget if it's Graviton Lance or something else, but there is an implication that there is something stalking Old Chicago, and it's powerful enough to kill Guardians. Which, and I think I mean kill. Not just kill them and they get rezzed and it's gone. Like a kill, drained of light or something like that. Now, let's see. We already went through Old Russia. What's another old location? I think somebody talked about Old Moscow once upon a time for Destiny. Let's see, Destinypedia. I'm just gonna literally search old. Old Rancor, Old Russia, Old Chicago, Old Accra. Let's see, that's Old Accra. That's a location in Africa. Let's see, the Old Sterling, Age Old Bond, the Old Fashioned, Old Bangkok, of course. Capital city of Thailand. Let's see. Old Desert. Right by. Well, you know what I mean. There have been mentions in Destiny lores and Grimoires for ages about old locations on Earth. I don't need a patrol zone per se, but a expedition, like what Bungie did with Dead Messenger. We may have Mars back officially, but we don't have the Mars patrol zone. So why not give us a mission that takes us through some of our old patrol zones? As much as it might sting a little bit, because why can't we just have the patrol zones, Bungie? It's still going into a region that we haven't had for ages. And I still suggest, in terms of unvaulting content, at least in terms of strikes or raids or otherwise, I know a lot of those places start in patrol zones, or a good majority of them start in some sort of patrol zone. A good workaround? Disable public matchmaking in the patrol zone and put up walls. Invisible walls that become visible once you get too close to them. They did it exactly with the Vault of Glass when that got brought back, because Vault of Glass starts in a patrol zone, but we can't go anywhere else. So, I don't know. I think I've talked about every topic I could think of the future of Destiny, potentially. So, with the stream about to begin, I'm going to turn up the stream volume manually a bit. And at least half decibel. Should be enough. Hang on, I'll make sure it's audible. Alright. Here we go. And for the record, Rose, if you're watching this back, I used the old Destiny PNG just because it's a Destiny thing. I would have used my new one, but... And the countdown has disappeared. Final minute. The music is crescendoing. Oh, there we go. So maybe we're getting a trailer.
Light and shadow is silence. That silence breaks. I am summoning you as a new age begins. I see sapient life turn to each other. They remember how to look to the stars. They remember curiosity. They remember how to thrive. But they have forgotten. They forgot we were here long before the Traveler. They forgot that they need us. But they are fated to remember. I will remind them.
I'm sure you will. But not through me. Find someone else. My will is my own.
All right, everyone, hello and welcome here to Bungie HQ in beautiful Bellevue, Washington. We have got an amazing stream lined up for you to tell you a little bit about the Edge of Fate and the future of Destiny 2 as well.
Just one sec. I'm letting him do his spiel. I know it's supposed to be a reveal trailer But the only thing that told us is that Orin is maybe not the emissary anymore. We know literally nothing else aside from what was presumed of us leaving the system. Man, Bungie. But all right, letting him back in.
What you do here?
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of the creative and game directors for the game. So that means like I'm a vision holder, and I work across the entire Destiny team with people like Allison and Dylan on the couch here to chart a new course for Destiny and a new future for the game. And just incredibly excited to be sharing with everyone today of what we've been up to.
Yeah, can't wait. We've got a big show ahead, so thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, as we move, right on down the line, someone who again has also had the good opportunity to join us on these streams as well, and is now firing some finger guns like a pro. Destiny's narrative director, the one and only Allison Lures. Allison,
Hello.
how's it going?
It's going so good. I'm here on a couch and I get to yell about Destiny with you. So
Not
it's
a
a
bad
good day.
Yeah, honestly, I'll take that anytime I can. Well,
Same.
for anyone who also hasn't had a chance to yell on couches about Destiny with us or hasn't joined us in the past, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Allison. I'm the narrative director for Destiny 2, and so that means it's the job of me and my team to make you laugh and make you cry and make you go, whoa, I totally forgot about this thing from 8 years ago. How did they remember? It's because we're good at our jobs.
It's true.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
As someone who gets to sit in on the writers' room, I can now doubly confirm that. So thank
We
you
love
for
having
being
you
here.
there.
So
I'm sorry. Couldn't help but laugh at that.
And of course, as we move right on down the line, the gentleman there at the very end of the couch, someone who is a friend to all Guardian kind, who's known far and wide, a member of the Destiny Global Comms team here at Bungie, Mr. Dylan Gaffner. How's it going, Dylan?
It's going well. How are you, Andy?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for
Got to make sure to ask every time.
I appreciate it. You need all the help I can get. Well, to anyone out there who may not have accosted you on the wild world of social media or is just somehow meeting you for the first time, do you mind telling us about what you do here at Bungie?
My name is Dylan Gaffner, formerly community team, where we would go out, collect your feedback, translate it to the dev team, and then bring their information back to you, kind of be that middleman. Now I'm on Global Comms, so I'm going to be in more of like a puzzle piece organization stage of what do we talk about, when do we talk about it, why do we talk about it, and then just making sure we get the information out to all players.
Yeah, well, we all appreciate it. Thank you for always being the voice of the player inside our hallowed halls. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, well, now that we've kind of got the intros out of the way, let's talk about our new saga. Robbie, I'd love to start with you. What's up next in Destiny, and where are we exploring?
Yeah, so our first expansion this year, The Edge of Fate, is the start of a brand new multi-year saga called the Fate Saga. And so we want to tell a story about something older, about the nature of fate itself. Are we bound by it? Can we fight it? Because before the Traveler ever arrived in our solar system,
Literally, the theme of Vault of Glass is making your own
And,
fate,
so ultimately,
Bungie.
this is a story that we're
Since
gonna
the
explore
beginning.
one of Destiny's biggest mysteries and the foundations of the universe itself.
You're talking about the 9, aren't you?
Who told you?
I think it's
Subtle,
How did
I
you
know.
guess?
Yeah.
Lift you off.
We did such a good job with this secret.
Really buried that lead, didn't we? Yeah.
just a little bit.
That's, but I mean, to that end, so who and maybe more appropriately, what are the 9?
Yeah, so buckle up. In the simplest description possible, the 9 are extraordinarily powerful beings that have been in the solar system for way, 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 way longer than the Traveler. We can think of them as being kind of connected to each of the major celestial bodies in Sol. So that's each of our 8 planets plus the sun. Sorry, Pluto.
It's messed up.
Didn't make the cut.
All right, fair.
I don't make the rules. Yeah, there you go. But the important thing to know about them is that this is why we're going to be so focused on the solar system for the next saga. We want to ask questions about our home that we've never asked before.
Yeah. So when it comes to the 9, obviously, Eagle-Eyed Guardians have been able to spot references to them for quite some time, whether it be outright ominous or a straight-up game show in some cases. Can you tell us a little bit maybe about what we should expect from them?
Expect to be surprised. We're, like you said, the lore of the 9 really ranges from like Star Horse infinitely neighing to the 9 doing genuinely awful, awful things in our lore. And so the important thing to know about them is that the 9 are individuals. This isn't a collective. It's not like a hive mind. Each of them are kind of their own being, their own person in the loose definition of a person. They have different wants and desires. They can ally with different members and fight with different members too. In the words of one of our characters really early on, there are aliens, and then there's aliens, and then there are aliens, and that latter one is what the 9 are qualified as.
Fair enough. All right, so beings of obviously immense power, something that the Guardians have gone toe-to-toe with in the past. We've even faced off against the very embodiment of the darkness itself.
Yeah.
What could be tougher than that?
Yeah, so this is something that we think about a lot about, because ultimately the Nine seek to free themselves at no matter the cost to humanity. And because they're extra dimensional in the ways that Allison are describing, they're not bound by the same rules that we are, that we've really experienced before in the game today. And so humanity and the Guardians, to many of them, are ultimately just bugs that can be squashed on, that they don't really care or think about beyond, achieving their ultimate goals. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, for the last 10 years, Guardians have really just been making their own fate.
Yeah.
I mean, so the Nine is
They
challenging.
literally said it
How are we gonna
themselves.
deal with it?
Yeah, whether we like it or not, the Nine have a plan for us. And like you said, Guardians are really good at making their own fate and going out and deciding who they want to be. But what happens when them deciding to make our own fate is exactly what our fate is? Like, what if that was the plan all along? These are extra dimensional beings. That means they perceive our reality in a very different way and can interact with it in a very different way.
It's like they're a move ahead in chess.
Oh dear.
Weird.
They're going to be dealing with extra dimensional
But
perceptions
you were mentioning,
now.
the Fate Saga is one of the subjects of today. How long can we expect the Fate Saga to last?
Yeah, so the Fate Saga is going to play out over several years, and ultimately
Oh, no.
we know where we're driving this car. We know where we're going with it. But the conclusion of the Edge of Fate itself is going to leave you with more questions than answers, and it's going to be the catalyst into this new multi-year saga. Because we really want to return Destiny to being a game about big questions, right? And so the way we think about this is about pouring jet fuel into the speculation engine of the game. So we're going to be revealing a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, and many of them we're not going to be answering immediately, because we're going to be telling the story over multiple expansions, and we're going to be giving you those expansion beats more times than we have before in the past. And so the Year of Prophecy kicks off with the Fate Saga, and with it, humanity is now set on a collision course with this celestial pantheon of the system that has been here for a very, very long time. And so the Edge of Fate launches on July 15th. And then the second expansion of our Year of Prophecy is Renegade, which comes this winter. And then later in 2026, we've got Shattered Cycle and The Alchemist. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting beats. And so, again, the Edge of Fate is just the beginning of this long journey of this awesome vehicle we're all jumping into and driving together, and it's going to take us to some new places.
That's exciting. So, with regards to the Edge of Fate right here in front of us, you were also nice enough to bring the class something today. You've got some gameplay with you,
Oh,
right?
yeah, we got some clips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should show those off.
It's a
Let's
doozy.
Let's check it
I
out.
like the present. Let's check it out.
All right. Apparently they're pulling from Warframe 99.
Connect, conceal. Guardian, I had a vision. Conform, comply, return. They just wanted to show us disasters. Observe, connect, conceal. I'm not human anymore. Return, conform, comply. No one else should know what this feels like. Enough. Terminate your suspicion, Commander. Remove your scornful blindfold.
There's no land beyond. Watch, he'll be available today if you pre-order. Oh, hey, Braytech Osprey.
All right, that
Didn't seem like
gives
there
us
was any
an
new
awful lot
subclass,
to go ahead and
Bungie.
Continue to dive into, and here to help us go ahead and explore a little bit more of it. Everyone, you probably noticed we've been joined by someone new here on the couch. We are privileged to be joined by someone who's the originator of perhaps my favorite all-time Destiny emote, the one and only Dave Samuel, art director here at Bungie. Dave, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. For anyone who maybe for some reason somehow doesn't have that emote in their collection or hasn't seen you in a past Vidoc, do you mind telling us a little bit about what you do here at Bungie?
Yeah, I'm art director on Edge of Fate. I work with the art team to visualize the narrative and design and kind of bring it all together.
It's a lot to bring together. Thank you very much for being here today. So with the Edge of Fate, it's obviously the first expansion in the Fate saga. Allison, I'd love to start with you, actually. What can you tell us about the Edge of Fate?
The Edge of Fate begins with an invitation, and we are invited along with a very specific group of people to a location, to a moment in time for a very specific reason.
Very specific purpose.
Very specific reason and purpose, yes. And the place that we're going to is called Kepler. And so you may be saying, now Allison, hold your horses
You read my
1
mind.
second,
Yeah.
because the Kepler I know is the one that's way outside of our galaxy. What do you mean we're going to Kepler? And I say, like, dear friend, didn't you know if you look inside in Destiny's universe, the Oort cloud at the edge of the solar system, you'll find a little planetoid that also happens to be named Kepler here in the world of Destiny. And that's where we're going, to Kepler.
Super exciting. And this is kind of a, Robbie, we were talking kind of before the show. This is like like a first taste of something new, right?
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is us just trying something new. We're expanding the universe of Destiny, creating new mysteries to uncover. This whole destination is about exploring a labyrinthian world that took inspirations from things like Dreaming City, exotic missions, dungeons, and it's wrapping it all through a Metroidvania expired experience. And so at the heart of all of this, at the heart of the Edge of Fate, is a player-driven exploration and discovery of an exotic world with brand new abilities.
So actually to even just maybe dig a little bit deeper, like how is the Edge of Fate going to be different from past expansions that we've made for Destiny?
Yeah, so at the global scale, when we're thinking about expansions in the Year of Prophecy and the formula of Destiny expansions going forward, first off, we're doing 2 expansions a year instead of just 1. And think of each of these expansions as a little bigger than something like a Rise of Iron from D1. And so both of these expansions combined are going to be even more expansion content than we've done in the past. And by delivering 2 of these a year, we're upping the pace of major world and story events that really matter to players and are going to be pushing the Fate saga forward. And so we're trying radical new things with each of these expansions. And so alongside this new destination of Kepler, this exotic world that players will explore with brand new abilities, we also have world tiers. And world tiers allow you to take on a higher level of challenge on the destination in order to extract some of the best loot within the release. But what's cool about world tiers is as you play through the mainline story and you play through the first couple of world tiers, you're going to unlock later world tiers. And as you're claiming these abilities, as you're exploring the world more, as you're discovering more within the release, you're putting these puzzle pieces together and you're figuring out how to solve all the mysteries on Kepler with different ways. And so you might play a puzzle in one way, a mission in one way, and when you're in these higher world tiers in the post game, you can start to solve these problems in different ways that you couldn't before in the original playthrough. And so alongside all of this, we're also going to have a ton of quest content that we're rethinking about how we use within the game. And so on Kepler, there's some non-linearity within the destination itself. And so with a lot of our side quest content that is related to the critical path, but you don't have to play it. It's there for you to explore. It's driven by your discovery of the world. You're out in the field, you discover something and you pick it up, and that's going to help you explore the characters in the world of Kepler more and go deeper on that story. And so, yeah, again, this is all about us just looking at the formulas that we've been building in Destiny over the last 10 years. And some of them are really strong, but they're due for some experimentation and some radical changes. And so that's what you're seeing here with the first taste of the Edge of Fate.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love everything you just said. I was a little distracted by some of the gameplay we were showing, like exotic sniper rifle, I think I saw, kind of recognize that.
Oh, yeah.
Some enemies with a couple really cool twists, like, okay.
Yeah.
But then also there was a Guardian that turned into like a lightning ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's multiple new abilities that your players are going to be able to discover on Kepler that's going to make them navigate and look at the world in different ways. But the one you're talking about, Dylan, we see it as our premier ability, the crown jewel of the release, and that's called Matterspark. And Dave has joined us, and he's helps us take the vision of the narrative and the design and the art and smush it together in amazing experiences. And so I think Dave should talk to us more about Matterspark.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So there's this new source of energy on Kepler, this strange dark matter. So the Guardian binds itself to the dark matter using the arc powers within. You can think of the dark matter as like a medium, and the arc as this catalyst that will allow you to completely change form. Transforming into Matterspark lets you squeeze into tight areas, race around areas, jump over stuff, and it also allows you to turn into this basically electric rolling ball of death, jolting and shocking enemies that come across your path.
So obviously, one big part movement, one big part combat, but I mean, even just in addition to that, to look a little bit, wider, like how did the Matter Spark Ball kind of influence the world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, the team really had to rethink what it means to build a destination with these abilities in mind. A simple hill becomes a ramp to get to a new space. A crack in the wall, it basically will reveal a whole new area to explore. It's also a new way to engage with enemies. Instead of taking a bunch of enemies head on, you can find a Matter Spark pad, transform, turn into this electric ball of death, and then just like start racing around the arena, dash over their heads, and flank from behind, and then really give the House of Exile on Kepler a bad day.
As well, we should. It's a good day for us as well. So what are some of the other Kepler abilities that we'll be able to unlock while we're out there as well?
Yeah, so each of these Kepler abilities are a mix of dark matter and our Guardian's powers. So we have the Relocator Cannon, which is this new fallen dark matter tech mixed with void. This is going to allow you to bypass laser walls, use these cascading relay networks, and just basically teleport around the world. Another ability that we have is Mattermorph. This is dark matter mixed with strand, allows you to manipulate the environment. You'll be able to basically push and morph and move geometry to create bridges, open up doorways, and then also reveal secrets and new opportunities.
Yeah, so what's really important about what Dave is describing, and when we were thinking about building this world, it was all about like, hey, here's this new tool to navigate and see the world in a different way and solve little puzzles and mysteries throughout the missions, the free roam, and the quest content, and beyond. But also what was really important to us is that we lean into Destiny's first-class ability gameplay. And so with Matter Spark, like Dave is mentioning, you're jumping, you're dashing into enemies to destroy them. You're doing giant explosions with them. With the Relocator Cannon, you're just blowing everything up with void explosions and graviton lance style like little secret projectiles. And then what's really fun about Mattermorph is you can just be like throwing these strange shurikens basically to just like delete an encounter before you then like start to morph the environment around you and move to the next area. And so it's just really exciting I'm incredibly excited about watching players just like solve puzzles and fight encounters in ways that like we don't even expect yet, and see how they take on the destination. And just like I really want to emphasize, you're going to be upgrading these, and when you get into especially the post-game experience, it's going to unlock, there's something unlocked with Matter Spark that really changes the way that you can play through the entire destination.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about dark matter,
Yes.
we have darkness abilities like Strand and Stasis already. Like, how is dark matter different?
Yeah, so dark matter and darkness are two completely separate things. They're completely different.
Obviously, they're two different
but,
names.
Dark matter does exist in our world. In the world of Destiny, we know it as being tightly connected to the Nine. It's what the Nine are actually made out of. In our world, dark matter is invisible. You can't really see it. And it wouldn't be very fun to make a destination where there's an invisible thing that you can't actually see. So lucky for us on Kepler, there's a bioluminescent microbe that allows us to see all of this substance that's impacted this world so much. It allows us to see how it's impacted the plant life, how it's impacted the behavior of the peoples that we're going to encounter, and we can see how it has been able to bring these things that are kind of unstuck in time into this current location.
I do have to put on my drifter hat for just a second and, like, what does it smell like? What does it taste like?
Yeah. Dark matter smells and tastes like bleach and math. Yeah, it's true.
Cannot wait to get that chip flavor.
Yeah.
Get it with a sandwich today after.
It's zesty.
Yeah, it's really good. Actually, so on the topic too of stuff in the trailer as well, we heard someone talking there. Can you tell us who that was?
Sure. That was Lodi. Lodi is a new character that we're introducing in Apollo. Not in Apollo. We're introducing him in the Edge of Fate.
Yeah.
I want to give a special shout out to Brian Villalobos, who portrays Lodi and does a spectacular job. This character is fascinating. He's kind of a fish out of water, but the fun thing about tropes is to kind of put a twist on them, right? So what if that fish that we pulled out of the water was the most qualified fish to be pulled out into the air?
Down for anything.
It's down for anything.
Yeah.
And what if that fish was kind of made to be pulled out of the water? I don't want to give away too much because this character is way more fun for the players to figure out what his deal is, but I will say that Lodi is very, very far from home.
Very fair, very exciting. So,
I do have to call out too, before we started this, you and Robbie were talking about how Lodi is like Notice Me
Oh
character.
yeah, Robbie wanted a senpai.
I
yeah.
did. Yeah, I wanted someone that I just wanted to spend a bunch of
Yeah.
time with on this new adventure we're going on.
Yeah, a friend that we can look up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Notice me.
Notice
Notice
Me.
Me.
Lodi.
Yeah, of course.
He
It
will,
writes
he will.
itself. Or rather, Alice. So
Not-
with regards to
not
the characters as well, so
enticing.
is it a whole new cast of characters in the Edge of Fate?
No, we're going to see some new faces like Lodi
We
and
had
other characters, but we're
frickin'
also going to see some familiar ones too.
Nimbus that was
here. The stakes are high
withstand the
enough to choose
cringe,
here
and
in
now
the
we have
city.
this new guy that
What's
is a
going on.
Notice Me
And
senpai
as it
character.
turns
That's
out, in
fucking.
one of our major
ugh.
mysteries, she's kind of at the center of it. She was invited here, as was Lodi, same as we were. All of it's kind of tied together.
Very exciting. So
Yeah, the way, oh, if I can,
No, no,
yeah,
please.
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
please,
like
yeah.
the way we think about this is about all these characters, their fates are intertwined in some
Yes.
way. There's these puppet masters that have been pulling the strings for a very, very long time in order for everyone to get here at this moment. And so as a guardian and these characters involved, they're gonna have to decide if they're fight your fate. Like that's what we think about. For these individuals, that's what they're going to have to go through and determine about how they can stand up to this new conflict that is surrounded by the Nine, because they are fated to be here. And what does that mean for them, and what does that mean for their future and the future of Seoul itself?
So with regard to these new characters and this world we find ourselves in, was there anything about that setting, or in particular, that really influenced the creation, rather, of this world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, I'll give you a list of fun facts. First off, if you've been paying attention to Destiny over the last week or so, you already know that there's been people on Kepler for a long time. That's an old-ass computer that you were putting those numbers into. We also know that the Vex are here. They're studying the Nine because turns out the Nine can do something
Obviously.
that the Vex can't. As Dave mentioned, the House of Exile are also here. They've become fixated on a being that they call the Giver. And kind of most importantly, the
Let me guess,
dimension
Lodi is the Giver.
is really thin. So the 3 dimensions that we can know and see and touch are very close to the realm that the Nine live in. And that means some things from Earth's past have been yanked into Kepler's present.
Exciting.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, so we've been talking about invitations throughout this, and we need to call out an invitation that's actually going to be waiting in the game after this is over. Ride of the Nine begins today.
Yeah.
So I believe we have a trailer to show.
Yeah, you were nice enough to bring a trailer along. I'll go ahead and give it a look really
Yeah,
quickly.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Earn the same weapons, but shiny.
All right, so that's Ride of the Nine, which
Yeah.
is our essential prologue story for The Edge of Fate. And these 3 dungeons that are featured in this event are free for all players starting today. And so what's really important about this is that these dungeons are both for veteran dungeon crawlers, hardcore raiders, people have been in these places a lot, but also new guardians who have never stepped into a dungeon before, right? What
Hey,
was
if
really
you're gonna have a
important for us when
tutorial
we were
mode for
developing Ride of the Nine was
dungeons,
that we
why
would
not
change the
have them
formula on how we can think
permanent?
about how we can welcome even more people in.
If you want new guardians, not having a 6-week activity doesn't really help.
Yourself, or go and match made with other fire team members shoulder to shoulder for the very first time. But don't worry, because we also have that higher level challenge for our veteran, our hardcore dungeon crawlers, where you're going to be able to earn the best possible loot, exclusive rewards, and also an exclusive title as part of Rights of the Nine. What's also really important about this event for being a prologue for the Edge of Fate is that it really reintroduces the emissary into the game, and you're going to learn why her job is pretty crappy and why she quits at the top of the Edge of Fate, like we saw at the beginning of this show. And so, Andy, we've been talking a bunch about how our Destiny expansions are changing the formula for Destiny going forward. So now I think it's time for us to start talking about how the core hobby of Destiny is changing going forward, the day-to-day of playing Destiny, week over week experience. And we've got someone else on the couch here to help us talk about that.
We have an expert in that very subject now who has gone ahead and joined us on the couch. We are now joined by the one and only Mr. Ben Womack, creative director here on Destiny. Ben, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, seriously.
There is a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good conversation we have coming up.
Yes.
But before we get into that, can you tell us just a little bit about what you do here?
Yeah. So I'm the Destiny 2 creative director for the core game, or the core hobby, as we call it.
Yeah.
And it has to do with all parts of the game, everything from Edge of Fate, through our seasons, through the fundamental systems. And in particular, like Rob was saying, I've been focusing on thinking about the kind of building blocks of Destiny 2 and getting those like not only stood up but also transformed and iterated on in some really exciting new places.
Nice. Well, let's go ahead and just start at the top. Can you tell us a little bit about what like the core formula of Destiny is changing and why?
Yes. So I think I need to start with the why first, because it's important to think about what is Destiny, what is great about Destiny. And Destiny is best when you have like awesome chases that you're excited about, you have really cool, powerful builds to make, and there's a mountain to climb that's right in front of you that you want to climb. You're like, I want that mountain, it looks pretty cool. And the thing that is not always true right now in Destiny is like it doesn't feel streamlined as it could. Players don't have as much agency. You know, we want to be player driven, we want to be more rewarding than we are. Because right now there are barriers to playing Destiny like in the best way. And those barriers are insurmountable sometimes. So think about that whole picture of, okay, what is the Destiny that we really want, that has been in the past, that we also want to get back to, and where we want to go for the future? That's where all the changes you're going to see have started, like at their inception point. So it's a big piece of the pie.
Massive updates coming across so many systems of the game, and this is like we're just getting in, digging into the surface.
Yeah. I mean, to that same end, then, how are we making it easier? Pardon me, to go ahead and just get straight into the fun.
Oh no, let's do it, because that's exactly what we want to do. And the first thing you're going to see when you log into Destiny with Edge of Fate, you're going to log in your character and see your ship in orbit. It's going to say, it's not going to say Open Director, it's going to say Open Portal. And the portal is our new front page of the game. We're trying to like get you to the fun as fast as possible, and as few clicks as we can. Like we even have Edge of Fate there in the corner, so that it's like right immediately there. No fumbling around with the map to get to it, really. And we're also taking other big parts of the game, the ritual game and for seasons, and putting them into these ops categories. So the idea is that we're having these different ops for different moods. We're having solo ops. We have a bunch of fire team ops. We have pinnacle ops, and of course we have crucible ops. Still super important for the game.
Yeah. I mean, to start up at the top, can you tell us a little bit more about what solo ops
Oh, yeah.
entails?
So solo ops is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a bunch of activities that are made for solo players. And the conception point of that was we want to make activities for players who have a smaller amount of time that they want to play in, and they don't necessarily want to have dependencies on other players, but they still want to get in there and play for 10 to 15 minutes and get some real progress.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah.
Get some loot and get your character forward. And
Hang on a minute. I'm just going to pause there for a moment. I'll continue for a moment. Initially, it didn't sound like a bad idea to make the new thing. But that was also before when they first talked about it, and I don't think I was so jaded towards Bungie's development of Destiny. This is all stuff to bring in new people. The old people don't want this. They want new subclasses, new factions, new whole worlds that have interesting new things. They don't want another new world that's like, oh, what is the big thing about this one? We got some Fallen. We got some Vex. Oh, what's the new thing about it, though? You could turn into a ball of electricity that lets you traverse the area different. No one that has been in this game for as long as me, at least I would hope, that are in my state of we need something good, thinks that a lot of this is good. Right now, I am not at all here for it. Really at all. Continuing now.
There's a really long form or more challenging kind of focused activities like exotic missions, for instance. And so, and then the one thing we haven't talked about yet very deeply, but is incredibly important, and it's something that I think we've done for the first time like ever, or maybe since early D1.
It's kind of a return to form.
Yeah. You're going to be able to experience the entirety of the power climb within Crucible Ops by playing PvP, right? So this means if you want to be sweaty, Andy, which I know you, Dylan, too. I know you're that way, right? I know both of y'all. If you want to put the sweatbands on, you're going to be able to play the entire the entire experience in the season here and earn some of the highest tier loot that's also available in the game.
I have to say, this is like super exciting because like my player type or other folks out in the community, like they want to go in, they want to jam on PvP, but then their friends invite them to do a dungeon or a higher tier activity, and they're like, oh wait, I need to grind a long time to get up to power. Now through PvP, they can get up to power, and you can just bring them into that PvE experience and have a fun time with each other.
Yeah.
So.
That's honestly how I primarily played D1, so I'm really looking forward to that. So it sounds like the core, obviously, of what you guys are talking about, play the way you want to play. Is right at the center of all of it. What if I really want to challenge myself?
But I don't want to play.
Yeah. So
That's important to us.
It's a big issue here.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we really want to give agency. That's one of the things. Player agency, player driven towards loot and challenge. And so we have a really hugely expanded activity customization system. We have a lot more difficulty levels, and we have a ton of new modifiers. We have 50 new modifiers along with all the old modifiers that we've released in the past that are going to make this big curated web of options for you to experience any of the PvE content in the curator. And so like we have Banes, not just old Banes that we have, but new Banes as well. We also have boons to help you like get advantages in your activities and for your build. We have challenges and trade-offs. And the fun part is you're going to get these different combinations that are available, and you're going to then make a mix that's actually going to change the way you play and be pretty interesting, and sometimes be the way you prefer you play. Like there's a new boon called Grappler that I personally love. It's kind of my preferred way to play, where they give you 3 grapple grenades replacing your current grenade. You can't do the melee, but they recharge super fast. So any build you want, you could now Spider-Man around any map. It's actually super fun.
It's so fun. Yeah, and I mean, like, what's at the heart of what Ben is talking about is what we kind of call the virtuous cycle, right? Where you're going to be crafting your build, tinkering with the activity, looking at
the
like how
virtuous
you can earn,
cycle. What the
higher
hell are you talking
reward
about?
By taking on higher challenge, and as you earn better loot, you're looking towards that next mountain to climb, just ahead of you all the time. And so this is really about how far you want to push yourself upwards within the portal itself. But also, we also are thinking about the people, and that's the depth, right? That's the depth of the challenge that we're talking about. That's also, but we're also thinking about the people who don't have as much time to play with like solo ops, and also if you're scared of modifiers or you're scared of customizing these activities.
Or you just don't feel like
doing it. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Thank you. We have a bunch of quick play options, right, Ben?
Yeah, quick play options, and we actually have matchmaking and Fireteam Ops. And we have Fireteam Finder, and so you're able to like really choose kind of what you're in the mood for.
Oh yeah, we technically have matchmaking across every activity that exists.
Except for solo ops, because that's solo.
Right.
But yes,
Otherwise, but in the
aside
Fireteams
from
and
that
Pinnacle Ops, it's everything.
Yeah, you'll have options to play.
Is that match-made raids confirmed,
Actually,
Bungie?
the really fun part is you can play a strike by yourself as hard as you want it to
That's
now,
true, yeah,
which is really fun. Yeah.
Well, you're talking about like all the different boons and combinations.
I'm not gonna lie, that
like
idea.
You were saying around 50 or something.
Nice.
Like that. Those apply.
Not at all
So
fixing
it's like,
this
you can take
burning
those into
boat.
Solo ops, like we're talking about this being kind of leisurely, bite-sized activity, but if you want to take it and say, I don't want Weenie Hut Jr., I want like esoteric level solo hardest thing in the world, like you can kind of customize and do that.
You can just do it from the very start if you really want to.
Yeah.
And
Depends on how deep you want to go.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, and the point is that you're going to like stretch that far, and we want the reward to feel like worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to feel like as you're pushing yourself, you are rewarded for it. That is something that's really important to the vision here for the portal. Yeah.
Rewards, huh?
Rewards. There are a lot of rewards, aren't there?
It's funny you mention it. Yeah, we've got Banes, boons, modifiers, but let's talk about gear for a little bit here.
Yeah.
What's changing about loot, and why should Guardians care?
Yeah, so like talking about chases and mountains and builds, like gear's at the center of all of that. And we actually have 2 giant gear changes I'm gonna like put in 2 little buckets for us to talk about. The first one is Armor 3.0. And the next one is gear tiers. And so like talking about Armor 3.0 first, we are probably making the biggest change ever since Shadowkeep around
huge.
the system. It's
yeah,
enormous.
It's a huge change.
Yeah, so like we're adding set bonuses, which is a long requested feature for all the new armor that you're going to be able to get at Edge of Fate launch, and we're redoing all the stats on armor. Where they can now like exceed.
Apparently, they're
100,
simplifying that was something that
go
was
beyond
already
100 for
inherently
extra
simple.
Bonuses.
Yep.
We're going to every single piece of new legendary armor that drops is going to have all the energy filled in, so you can build crafting right away, and it's going to essentially like There's more features actually that I could talk about, but I don't think I'm allowed to yet.
Fair. Well, something that we can talk about too, you mentioned gear tiers as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so gear tiers are very exciting because every single legendary weapon and armor that you can get is going to have 5 gear tiers, starting from 1 going up to 5. And like we have a 5 gear tier 5 piece of legs armor on the screen right now, and you can see that like this is like looks really cool with the iconography, but it also has a ton more stats. And oh look, what's that?
Yeah, what's going on with the energy there?
Yeah, the energy.
Ben?
Yeah, the energy says 11, and
this
it's
one goes to
true.
11. Yep.
It's not a typo. Like energy is going to 11 for higher tier armor, and so if you want that for your build crafting opportunities, it does like give you some new options you never had before. You're gonna have
Thank
to
God it
challenge
looked
yourself to get
cool.
more
Let's forget
higher
about
tier armor and
transmog
keep on going
existing.
to get yet more higher tier armor to get those options.
Yeah. And this is also not something that's just relegated to armor, right? When it comes to weapons, they're obviously getting their own refresh as well.
Yes,
I mean, what's Destiny without chasing some?
You read my mind.
Yeah, like weapons
seriously.
are part of the player identity. You know, some people like have a gun that they love.
You
and
got fashion, and then you have gunplay.
that's
right?
true, though we do have fashion for your guns a bit now.
Hey.
well, so because once you reach tier 5 for your legendary drops, you're going to be getting tier 5 weapons, and those have unique shader treatment. It's like essentially a completely different look that's going to immediately identify it to you and others that this is the highest tier gear of this drop that you can get. It's going to show on the weapon. It's going to show on the icon. It's even going to show when you kill enemies with that weapon, because there's unique kill effects for tier 5 weapons that you can turn on or off if you don't want it. But
kill
gameplay will,
effects.
show that the weapon that is being used is like the highest tier.
You've had one
Giver's
since
Blessing, which I think we have on screen
freaking
right
Dares
now.
of
This is one
Eternity. They
Kepler
just
armor,
never
but
added
I
more.
I cannot put this thing down. When we're playing through the Edge of Fate right now, and it's what's really exciting about it for me is that like when you see that tier 5 drop, like you know immediately that's better than like a tier 3 or tier 4 weapon that you have, right? And I think that's when we talk about making Destiny easier to just jump in, find the fun, make it accessible, but also create more depth. You know, this is what we're thinking about. It's like how can we just make immediate, like you understand, like okay, this is probably better than the thing I have right now, depending on what gear tier it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good example of how much time and effort is being put into these game systems to make them more like approachable. Change can be scary. There's a lot of change that's about to come to the game. We're Armor 3.0, we have so many new boons, we have a bunch of new stuff. And after 10 years of Destiny, this is going to flip some stuff on its head. So, I mean, we're going to have a bunch of blog content. We're going to have interviews with Robbie, with Ben, with more folks across the team that have been working on this. And then we'll also be elevating our creator community when they're creating guides, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a fun time. But ultimately, a big shout out and thank you to all the folks that have been coming into our studio, giving feedback early on some of these systems so they can be more approachable. And we're looking forward to all the feedback that's going to be coming after launch too. Like this is again one of our first steps into something, and then the community and we are going to build something amazing.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how much feedback we've gotten from the community summits we've been running over the last year for the Edge of Fate, and just people reaching out to the community teams and others to us. Like your feedback is invaluable. So like seriously, like thank you so much. We're making this game together ultimately.
Yeah, it's incredibly important part of the process. Like I don't think we would be able to make what we do without it.
Yeah. Working with the community is obviously a core part. Dylan, huge thanks to you and your team, obviously, for helping to lead that charge. And in advance for the big blogs you get to write. And then also our social media team will go ahead and get out the door. So go ahead and give us a follow.
I think, Ben,
but
you were saying you wanted to try to break the record for longest twid?
I'm more predicting we are.
Yeah. So
it's not about try, it's the state of things.
It's going to be a multi-month journey as we head towards launch. So.
Yeah, be a good time. But you know, we've been talking a lot about the core Destiny hobby. How does that extend into like how players are going to experience like a full year of Destiny?
Yeah, so we've been focusing on improving and changing the formula of Destiny in multiple ways. And so progressing through the Fate Saga is going to be more meaningful with 2 expansions a year. We've been talking about how focusing our seasons and on the core hobby of Destiny and that commitment to continually updating it. And in addition, we're going to have 2 free major updates between each of our major expansions coming in the Year of Prophecy and beyond. And so ultimately that means there's 4 big beats happening in a year, 2 expansions, 2 free major updates between those expansions. So what that means we're not doing is paid seasonal content anymore. We're not doing separate seasonal storylines. And this also means we're not building a bunch of activity content that basically just goes away and is less meaningful to the game after 3 months. So we're instead focusing all of that effort that used to go there instead into building up the core hobby of the game so the core hobby stays fresh and exciting, year round. And so ultimately, this means no more paywalls for seasonal content, and also these major updates themselves that I'm signposting around right now. The size of them roughly and the inspiration for them we're thinking about is like Into the Light.
Okay.
So when you say like Into the Light, for folks that aren't out there, like what for a major update, how big is that? Like how do you encapsulate that?
So when I say Into the Light, a lot of this is like the inspiration of what it was. And with Into the Light came a really cool theme that wrapped around all the new stuff we were building within it, but also a lot of the Reprise stuff as well. And also, you know, with it came Onslaught, a new type of activity. It came with reprised exotic missions and a rethinking of how we could do like a rad style event, a raid event with the Pantheon. And so for our first major update coming a few weeks after the Edge of Fate launches, we've got Ash and Iron. Right? And so with Ash and Iron, we're going to be returning to the Plague Lands.
Returning to the Plague Lands, can't wait.
It's going to happen.
Plague Lands, baby.
And so that story is going to pick up from where we left off, from the Edge of Fate. And with it, we're going to have a new activity called Reclaim, a brand new exotic mission, new types of...
I'm just taking a moment. Hang on, can I backtrack this a little bit? Isn't there no, wait, that's YouTube, that's right. Alright, continuing on.
With the season that's launching alongside the Edge of Fate.
Yeah, Ben has been working on this space for the team for a while now, so I'm going to kick this one to him.
Yeah, so we're trying to make any time the best time to hop into Destiny. You know, and one of the ways we want to do that is we want to invest in events that are like accelerating the game and enhancing every part of the game, but also bringing new cool stuff. And actually, we've been working on this so long, we actually have some new cool stuff coming before the Edge of Fate.
It's a special little treat.
Yeah, special little treat. So this Friday, you can play a little event, maybe you've heard of it, called Heavy Metal, which is Tanks vs. Briggs, a new PvP mode. It's super fun. I would kind of wish I was playing it right now, not gonna lie. But the thing that people at home don't know is we have a new reward. That's a unique thing in Destiny if you invest in this event, if you go and play it. And it is a free-to-play event. So this reward is free-to-play. It is a new combat vehicle that goes in your Sparrow slot, combat Sparrow, if you will, called the Griffin. And this is a really cool, like, combat-ready vehicle you can take anywhere you can summon a Sparrow, you can summon it and use it to fight your enemies and just have a really good time. And there's some really cool...
It took... however long, 11, maybe 12 years of Destiny to finally give us a Sparrow with a gun. At this point, I would rather just Sparrows be Sparrows instead of getting us more. Because it took so fucking long. Ugh.
Launch of Edge of Fate. It's called Arms Week. And it's a 1 week long event, and you're going to be focusing on one weapon archetype in Arms Week whenever it comes around. And this one is going to give you a new legendary weapon of that type. It's going to have some volatile mods that are there for the week that are going to be super interesting and fun to play with, and some focusing you can do. But you know, there is a problem when you say this event is going to be about weapons and about using them.
Yeah, you got to have a place to test all that out.
Right. And so I mean, I've been doing that in EDZ this whole time. I don't know about the rest of you.
Those poor dregs.
Right?
Yeah.
But there is a new way now. We have a new feature, a long requested feature that is being added to the game with Arms Week. It is the shooting range. And the shooting range is being added to the tower. It is a now permanent addition to the game with the launch of Arms Week.
And another bit. We had 2 other shooting ranges. The one in the fucking crafting section. And we had the Hall of Opulence. But they sunset it. And they haven't brought it back. This should not be something that they should be excited about, because it's just returning something they took already. And still have.
And use your abilities too.
Yeah, you totally can. And like if you wanted to, you could even take in Prismatic and pop Transcendence and try that out. And you know, well, I think the reason why we're not seeing that right now is because it's a Titan.
Yeah, it's a good soldier.
Yeah.
Standing on that firing line.
Yeah, standing on the firing line.
All about building that line and standing.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of theory crafters are going to have to go ahead and have some upheavals to their Google Docs, I'm guessing.
This will be a really good tool. Like as we're adding all of these different systems with gear tiering and all of that, you can go in and check those damage numbers in real time. Like, how do my stats change? How are these different gear bonuses going to affect my gameplay? You can see it in the tower now.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about weapons,
oh yeah,
well, one more thing, right?
Yeah, no, there's one more thing. I know you're excited. So you know, there's more events. Of course, there's more events, and the holiday events are coming up. Where Solstice is right around the corner.
It's
as well.
summertime, right?
It's summertime. Summertime is solstice time in Destiny 2, and Solstice has some really cool twists and such that we're planning. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to show you all the new hollow foil treatment we have for Solstice weapons. So here we go. This is the hollow foil treatment for Solstice in 2025. It's amazing every time I look at it.
Yeah.
It is an ocean.
On a
And
gun.
the line, yeah, we put the ocean on a gun. How did we do that? It's beautiful. I love it. And any kind of
Because
weapon that
weapon
tops 47
shaders are going to save
Like what the
tier 1 or tier 3,
Bungie.
yeah, any
Exactly.
weapon can have a hollow foil.
Yeah,
when we're playing through
the
the
tier 5 hollow foil.
Ooh.
You know, like that's gonna be a chase. Our other events will also have hollow foils.
Yeah, like Arms Week you're talking
Arms Week
about.
will have its own hollow foil treatment. Like every event, a major event we have will have a hollow foil treatment. The holidays will have their own kind of special one, but yeah, Arms Week will have their hollow foil drops that you can farm as well.
Super exciting. No, it's going to be a good time. I'm going to have way too much stuff to chase down, so appreciate you guys putting all the hard work in, obviously, for that. But I believe we've got one more thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot about here are the free updates coming to Destiny, the portal, a bunch of different stuff, Edge of Fate, but we also have another expansion, and we need Allison back on the couch to talk about
Right,
it.
yeah, Allison.
She's the best one to talk
Yeah,
about.
we've got something very exciting, and so once again, Allison, thank you for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it.
Of course. I'm so excited to be the one more thing.
Yeah, it's a tradition around here, so we're glad that you could obviously go ahead and lead us into this one. But, as Dylan mentioned, we've talked about the Edge of Fate, but this is the first year we're going to be doing 2 expansions over the course of a year. Can you tell us a little bit about Renegades?
Yeah, so we're going to have a dedicated reveal for Renegades in September alongside our major update, Ashen Iron. But earlier we were talking about how sometimes our formulas can constrain us from experimenting and innovating. And so in that spirit, Renegades is going to be very different from the Edge of Fate. What I can tell you, and we'll talk plenty about it later, is that we're going to be experimenting and innovating with activities, with social mechanics, and more. But more importantly, I want to talk about our inspiration. And so I have to kind of tee it up first. So Renegades is going to be a Destiny, definitively Destiny expansion. This is part of the Fate Saga, and it's going to push it forward in important ways and introduce characters that we're going to spend time with for years to come. It is an essential Fate Saga story, and it's an homage to a universe that has inspired Bungie from the start. It's a universe that all of us here on the couch grew up with, as well as everyone else at the studio and millions of you back at home too. It is a peanut butter and combination, a peanut butter and chocolate combination inside of what we're making that could only be possible in the kind of world that we build here. And so I am absolutely thrilled to be able to give our first sneak peek at Destiny 2 Renegades.
Let's take a look.
They said so much there, I was about to actually just say, spit it out. Oh no, red and blue, don't tell me it's Halo, it's fucking Star Wars again. It fucking is more Star Wars.
Okay, Robbie, what did we just see?
Yeah, so that's Renegades, which is coming out this December. And to really drive it home here, Renegades is a one-of-a-kind Destiny experience, right? And just like we on the Destiny team have taken inspiration from other genres like dark fantasy or cosmic horror, Renegades takes the space western vibe and aesthetic that is Star Wars, and it puts it through that Destiny lens. And ultimately, it's created a new lawless frontier that is emerging within Seoul. And so, we're so excited to show Renegades off a little bit today and to be talking about it more in the future in September alongside the free major update with Ashen Iron. But right now, today, we're focused on Rite of the Nine and what's right around the corner with the Edge of Fate.
Absolutely. No, I heard a lot of calendars get marked just now on September, but no, super excited to share more of that in the future. But that actually leads us to the conclusion of today's show, which again, we covered a lot.
There's been a lot today.
Yeah, this has been a big show, honestly. No, we went through a lot of it. So let's go ahead and quickly double check. We obviously went through, and the Year of Prophecy, pardon me, is going to go ahead and kick off on July 15th. And this kicks off a brand new multi-year Fate Saga and our new focus on the core hobby of Destiny. The first expansion, The Edge of Fate, is going to be launching again on July 15th, as I noted, with its raid launching on July 19th.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
So you're going through a lot of information. We already covered that.
Oh, yeah.
But like, you can't just sneak in a raid date. We have a new raid coming with the expansion, July 19th.
No shit.
We're going to have a bunch of blogs. We're going to have the rules, regulations, all that kind of stuff for our raid race.
Of course.
We invite everybody to come in, try to go for that world first title. And yeah, I mean, just stay tuned for more details. We're not going to spoil anything. It's a raid. We got to keep it secret.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
Yeah, everybody mark your calendars.
Yeah. Bungie.net is the place to go ahead and learn more. And again, follow our social media channels. Do us all a favor. So in addition to that, again, as we noted, Ashen Iron, our first free major update, will be launching on September 9th. Renegades, very exciting, will be launching in December. And then keep an eye again on our social channels. We'll provide all the updates once they're available. But as far as today goes, the Edge of Fate and the entire Year of Prophecy pre-orders are available starting right now. Now, pre-ordering for starters, the Ultimate Edition will go ahead and unlock the
Who could have seen this coming?
And beyond that exotic sniper. Ooh, I can't wait, man.
I can't wait, same, honestly. That'll be unlockable in addition to several other goodies. And also, we've also got a collector's edition that'll be available. You can see here on screen, it will be coming with an awful lot of very cool stuff, including this cool statue that you may have noticed here that's been sitting with us on stage. This is one that you can go ahead and add to your collection as well, but that's not all that's in there. Is there, Allison?
We got the writing team got a little excited on this one. We put a lot of lore goodies into this collector's edition. So like that weird metal thing, that weird envelope, boy, weird. Wonder what's up with that.
Just decorative
You
points?
should probably read it. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do a dramatic reading as soon as
Yeah, we should go downstairs immediately after this.
really
Oh, yeah, right after this.
Count me in. And then again, too, as far as today goes, Rite of the Nine. This is the essential prologue to the Edge of Fate, and like all of our events moving forward, it's going to be a free to all players. So make sure and go ahead and check that out when that arrives. And before the show wraps up, make sure and stick around for a little bit longer. We're going to be rating our good friend Sammy Cat as well. So go ahead and give her a follow. Tell her we said hello in chat. Pardon me. If you have any Twitch Prime subs or anything like that, go ahead and do us a favor. Drop it over there and check out her stream. She's going to be having a good time. But that concludes it for us here today. So for starters, huge thanks to my teammates here for joining me.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, yeah. Robbie, Allison, Dylan, of course. There we go. We got Ben and, of course, Mr. Dave Samuel. Thank you all so much for being here today. And then, of course, to the crew that puts all this on.
Thank you,
This doesn't happen by accident. Thank you all so much for all of your hard work and dealing with me on these last couple of days. And, of course, to everyone at home, to all of our guardians out there in the community, thank you. It's a tremendous privilege to get the opportunity to share what we've been working on early, and it matters only if you guys show up and join us. So we really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed. And otherwise, in the meantime, until we see you again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.
Oh boy. And with that reveal, I think the purpose of my channel may be changing. There's nothing like a reveal, an hour-long or longer reveal stream where you are just constantly unimpressed by everything. That makes you realize that Bungie for the future may not be making the game for you. And that is depressing, to say the most. So, hang on a minute. Oh, hang on, I'm gonna... I'm just gonna update that title, because that is exactly how I was feeling that whole time. Hang on. Relocate to another VC. Let me guess. I look in one of the other Discords that has Destiny people. Yep. You know, I know I said this in my last video. I wish I didn't have so many reasons to not be looking forward to the future. All right, hang on a minute. Let me bring that down. I'm going to relocate to it. Oh, geez, that's still got noise. I'm going to relocate to the Edge of Fate reveal that I can backtrack on YouTube.
The awful, awful things.
Just turn that off. And bring that back on. I'm not gonna lie. This legitimately impressed me none. Nothing I saw brought any hype. I heard the House of Exile. And maybe 4 years ago, I would have been excited. Because I know as Destiny as a lore, all of the houses of Destiny folded under one banner, and the House of Dusk because the Red Legion was wiping everything out, and they had to preserve life as the Fallen. So when I heard the House of Dusk was around, or the House of Exile, I was like, oh my god, another House of Fallen, finally. But it was overshadowed completely by the fact that we are going to another region and there's Fallen there. Again.
Hello.
Hi. Silas, I hate to break it to you. You're probably not going to find any good company in me right now. I am 0% interested in Destiny right now.
Alright. I will go ramble elsewhere then.
Yeah. Sorry, bud.
Two sides of the same coin. One extremely excited, one extremely not excited.
Yeah, like I'm even debating how much my Destiny will, or my channel will stay Destiny news after that. But anyway, yeah. See ya, bud.
The free seasonal content though.
I don't know. I know free seasonal content is good. I heard other things like solo striking if you want to, but that to me, that really isn't something that should be applauded. Because it's like, that's how it should have been from the start, kind of things.
But also, look at the trend. Bungie's always put out the best shit when their back is against the wall.
This
Taken King
doesn't look like good shit. I mean, we're going to a new planet. Fallen. Vex again. So no new factions. No new subclasses. Like, variations can only go so far. I mean...
Wholly new mechanics, though, which is pretty neat. Like, the Dark Matter stuff is...
traversal mechanics, and restricted to the one planet. It's like the Deep Sight thing. We only use that on fucking the Throne World.
That is true. The Griffin, the Gun Sparrow, looks neat.
That was almost the worst sin, is that it took 12 years of fucking Destiny to put a gun on a Sparrow.
I've been begging for a pike as a vehicle to use for the longest time.
It's just... And not to mention, the Edge of Fate looks like it's ripping off Warframe 99.
Wait, what?
You didn't see? They were talking about having to be in a specific place for a specific reason. And, like, just the crashing of realities together. Like, that's the whole idea I took off of 99. It's like we were pulled out of time to this place because we were needed at that one point. Like, that's the whole theme I got from that. But, I mean,
I mean, it, there is somebody that I saw a comment and it was saying that we just went full circle to D1. I'll take this.
I mean,
I'm
hell,
curious.
fucking, they were like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a new firing range. What about the Hall of Opulence you sunset and never brought back? That was a firing range.
Yeah, but like this one actually is going to be a lot more like mechanically, like you can do actual like full number checks, DPS checks per mag.
I know, but it's
elements and all that
it's
stuff. That's
going
gonna
back
be
to that
interesting.
same thing. We had it once, and they could have updated it, but they didn't. They took it away and then reshipped it back out later.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like Bungie is not, or Bungie has made a lot of fuck ups. But like we've talked about this before, I'm a bleeding fucking optimist.
I
And
know.
I know you used to be that way, but like we will see, you know?
But I feel like I'm in this case I have the logical essence of I love Destiny. I am off the train right now and I desperately need something to bring me back in. And they really just haven't hit it.
You gonna play Tanks and Briggs on Friday?
I don't even know. I mean, it's like same thing. I was just talking like in the pregame. I was discussing different things, and I was talking about how much Rise of Iron, and how looking back on it, I have nothing negative I could generally say. It could be just my perspective. Like even Taken King, obviously great expansion, but you could say the content drought between the Taken King and the April update, and then Rise of Iron, that was definitely a hole that Taken King had, or that was a con. But then I looked back at Rise of Iron and I loved it so much. But I literally heard at some point saying the next season after Edge of Fate is going to take us back to the Plaguelands.
Ash and Iron, yeah.
Keep in mind, they didn't mention Siva at all. They just said we're going back to the Plaguelands. It's that literally, in one ear, out the other. I heard it, I understood it, but I didn't care. It was...
Yeah, I mean...
And then freaking the NPC. This is something I was anger texting about. We went from Cringus, the Lord of Cringe that no one likes, to a Notice Me Senpai NPC. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, Nimbus. Yeah. That one I found a little off.
Like, how are you gonna literally say we introduced this new character who just looks like a Destiny knockoff of Gordon Freeman, and say his whole character arc is Notice Me Senpai? Like, oh my god. They didn't say Senpai, but they literally said Notice Me.
Okay, what did you think of the anime, or of that, like, scene at the beginning where Orin, like, sheds?
I mean, that
the
was another
emissary?
thing. It's like, this is my duality with Destiny and Bungie. It looks like they put effort into it, but I can't like it. Like, I saw that trailer and it's like, the only thing we learned officially from that trailer is probably that the emissary is no longer the emissary and she might be back to being a guardian. But that's literally the only things I got from that. Like,
yeah, her armor looked sick.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. But I mean, it's like looking back at the Beyond Light reveal. It's like we showed up in Europa, we had the Exo Stranger, we had Eris, we had Drifter, we had Europa, and we saw a pyramid ship. It was like minute-long trailer, teaser, and we got way more info than this one because we knew we were probably leaving the system. We knew it had something to do with the 9 already. And here's that one character we know, or one of the two characters we know that has something to do with the 9. Okay, they're no longer having to do with the 9. That's cool. It's just like, I don't know.
Well, her will is her own, so she might be going against the 9 and help us.
Mayhaps. But I mean,
like she
God,
might be our Virgil in a sense of understanding the 9.
And then they had the Star Wars collab, and now they're so out of ideas, they're doing a whole Star Wars season.
They are?
That's what I assumed Renegades was. They literally had a Han Solo pistol, they were holding a lightsaber as a weapon, They had
I'm
armor
just
sets that
tapping
looked
the
full
Megatron
Star
game
Wars,
set.
and they showed a little site that was like Jabba's palace or Tatooine or something like that.
Oh Jesus!
They
Yeah, I just
literally
saw like
say it was like a full season dedicated to a Star Wars type story.
yeah, I know. I see the fucking lightsaber. That's goddamn it. Goddamn it. I should have known from the fucking text.
It's like it looks good, but also it's like, come on, Bungie. It's like I was
Not
just
the
talking
fucking
about
Mauser.
I was
fucking
just
looking
talking
gun.
about how there's so many locations on Earth they've talked about before, but we've never visited. That could be
Old
a good
Chicago.
place
I
for
do wanna
a small compressed season that is exactly what they're talking about. They'll have smaller seasons in between smaller expansions. So it would be appropriate to do a small compressed season where it's like the reason I was talking about it. Seeing what's hunting down things and killing guardians in old Chicago. That could be an easy little 3-month season that is like a 5-week story and compress everything, like a mini season or whatever the hell they're going for.
It'd be fascinating to go into the ruins of old Chicago. The swamps of old Chicago would be sick to
And
venture
even
through.
when I looked up on Destinypedia, I literally searched up old. There's one old location. There's like old Bangkok. There's old Accra, which was in a location in Africa. There was old Moscow. All these places. Earth is Earth. We got so many notable places we could visit again.
One place I want to go to is the Manhattan nuclear zone.
Oh yeah, fucking hell, that would be a trip. Fucking Fallout and fucking Destiny. That would be amazing. But no.
Yeah. Fucking venturing from vault to vault.
I mean, it doesn't help that the enemies we're fighting, it's like the whole thing is having to do with the 9, but the enemies shown is all House of Exile Fallen and just random precursor Vex.
The Vex imps are interesting.
They looked
I will
weird a little bit.
They look weird, but that makes sense for the Vex.
I mean, it kind of does. The weird little hive jellyfish thingies.
Yeah,
I
the
could have
imps.
sworn that was honestly a fallen enemy that was just like vexed out, but I don't know.
Seeing Fallen with jetpacks.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's like looking at it. Man, that's actually a cool enemy design. Shame I'm not here for it. Also, it's like you're naming Corsairs. We've had Awoken Corsairs for ages. So I mean, I know Rose has said this. I wish I had reasons to be excited about Destiny, but they are really not feeding me.
Dude, No Land Beyond or New Land Beyond. Sorry.
Oh, and I
New
called
Land
that.
Beyond.
Literally before it, I was talking about No Land Beyond. I was like, watch No Land Beyond be available today with pre-order. Sure enough, it fucking was.
I'm sorry. The fucking Titan armor is
I mean, there's little bits and pieces that being me that like isn't blinded by love that I just couldn't help but rip apart. Like earlier when they were talking about the 9 are here and it's the question of whether or not we actually have fate or if it's in their hands. I literally yelled out loud, from the beginning, Guardians have made their own fate. Like, so why is talking about an entity that may have control of our fate be a thing? Because we know in the end, even if they try to control us, we're going to break free anyways.
Scorp. Why the fuck is the Hunter armor General Grievous? Titan
I don't
armor,
know.
Darth Vader and the Warlock armor Kylo Ren. And if you pre-order now, you get it immediately.
Yeah, fucking.
The only thing I would use possibly is that fucking cloak for the Hunter.
And that was the other thing I couldn't help but tear apart when they're talking about Armor 3.0, and they're like, oh, there's all these new things, the new abilities, stats, and this armor looks cool. And I was like, but there's fucking transmog. No one uses the armor that it came as. So why even bother making it look cool?
I will say the collector's edition, that statue looks sick as fuck, but I'm not gonna buy it.
I mean, I don't even know. Legitimately, I don't even know if I'm gonna buy this DLC. I legitimately don't. Because, I mean, perspective, officially, you are the only person I know that hasn't uninstalled that I have regular contact with. Like, I'm sure Egg or Mop or everyone else, they might still feign in it every now and again. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, fucking literally everyone else I know is either elsewhere and busy or they uninstalled Destiny straight up.
Yeah, a lot of people have jumped ship. Actually, Egg and I are gonna try or getting one of our friends to reinstall just for the dungeon Pantheon. Trial of the Nine, is that what it's called?
Rights of the Nine.
Rights of the Nine, yeah. We're gonna get one of our friends to reinstall just because of Rights of the Nine. That was the one thing.
Which
that
I
he
know
was
this isn't
considering
even
bringing
gonna hit nearly as good as Pantheon did.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm still salty I never got through Pantheon, but like the teams I raided with gave up a lot.
Well, it was actually really satisfying getting through Pantheon, but in the end, these are dungeons. And two of the dungeons that nowadays I dread ever being asked to do because I just don't
Ghosts
want it.
and
Ghosts and fucking Spire.
Yeah.
It's like Spire itself isn't terrible, but that fucking Wyvern gives me too many fucking flashbacks.
Fuck that thing, man.
Like, too many times I tried, alright, solo flawless. I get through first encounter just fine. I get through Harpy just fine. Then I get to this one, alright, did a damage phase. Guess what? Supplicant, Wyvern, Undead. You know, I couldn't help but message Google and be like, I couldn't help but laugh when I heard one of them say, because we're good at our jobs. I was like, if you're good at your jobs, I wouldn't be so disappointed.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, you know how they said the big sin of Vanilla Destiny 2 was revamping it to try and get more new people in, but not keeping the original community? That feels like exactly what it is with the revamp of the core mechanics, too. They're trying to get all the new people in, but at the same time, all the old veterans, they don't care. They don't need a revamp. They're doing just fine. It's like, honestly,
maybe I'm not as negative just because I haven't been in as long. Because you're a D1. You're
it's
an
entirely
old-
possible. I'm vanilla D1 old, like pre-expansions old.
I got in around Forsaken. Like, I've played through D1 entirely, aside from the raids, but like, I started in Forsaken, so like, I still have like I've been burnt out of this game so many times just because of shitty groups, but like, I'm trying.
Yeah, and I
Because
don't
this is
fault you for
also-
that. I just can't find my will for it.
Yeah, I know, because this game is what got me through some of my worst depression. When I dropped out of high school and basically never left the house aside from like for church, this is the one game that kept me interacting with people for the most part.
Bleh.
Man, I wish you had a PlayStation.
I'm just
Or I
gonna.
wish I had
I'm
an
just gonna
Xbox.
ignore that you said that. No.
No. I wish you either had a PlayStation or if I had my Xbox with me, because I'd love to play fucking D1 with you.
I don't know. And in perspective too, I feel like I know they're putting on a face because obviously they can't act like they're on a burning boat. But hearing how negatively Marathon was launched and hearing them say, "Here's our new several-year-long story," I'm like, are you gonna make it more than 2? Because if Marathon is a burning boat already, who knows how long it's gonna go.
Hopefully, and like I hate to be that guy. I really hope they fucking crash and burn Marathon and just realize that Destiny is the IP they need to focus.
I know that was the whole point of my video before. It's like the most rocky of times in Destiny, and the latest memory has been while Marathon was being developed, because they siphoned development power And
They fired one of the best composers they ever had.
and like the rest of the thing, all the layoffs, it's like they tried. See, this is the annoying thing is when people actually actively said like, you can't just think they could make only one game, can you? And it's like they have been. Bungie has been a one franchise developer for ages. As much as they made 4 Halo games, or actually no,
And
5.
all the OG marathons.
And all the, well, I actually don't know if that was Bungie officially. That might have been
That was Bungie.
that was pre. Okay, either way. But they had
Yeah, that
Halo.
was Bungie, and then they then they started doing the Halo games, and then.
But yeah, they had Halo CE, Halo 2, Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, Halo Reach. And then they stopped with Halo. And then they went Destiny. Then Destiny years 1 through 3. Destiny 2 years 1 through current. They have been a one developer thing, and that's kind of what allowed them to keep making the better things. And then they split to make 2 games. And now, guess what? Hey, we're having money problems. Lay off people. I wonder why. Because you're developing another game when you have been a one game studio for... How long has Bungie been around? Like 25 fucking years or something? I know the Bungie 15-year anniversary was a few years ago, but like ahead of like the Halo Bungie. I don't know.
It's not only that like they're working on 2 games now. It's also the fact that their CEO wants more cars.
He will never let that down. That down.
I want to get a new Bugatti. All right, let's let go 20 people. Oh,
but I mean, even still, like the heat that Marathon got, I feel like it got even worse. I think I mentioned this before when Arc Raiders started getting into alpha and getting out there, because it's the same game, but I'm seeing 0 hate from it. Dozens of people like, this is a good game. Like it is a, like, I think there's people saying like it's a $40 game, but, or hang on. I think they said I played for free, but I would pay money for this. And it's like,
Bungie's been going since May 1991.
91. Okay, so they're
founded in
more
Chicago,
than
Illinois.
Oh god damn it. But I mean, it's like that's the same thing. Freaking, hey Google.
Freaking hey Google to you too. Howdy. Even Annabelle says hi, guys.
Hi, Belle.
Oh shit! New
Scorp says
cutscene.
hi, Belle.
Hello.
Ew, you're playing Destiny.
No, I'm not.
Listen.
I'm listening. You just ain't talking.
The new dungeon thing came out, and a couple of my friends want to try it. So
that's all right. It must be depressing to have friends that play Destiny. I think I'm down to 1 because I can't even count Scorpion in that anymore.
Yeah, not really.
I got a friend that still sends me a bunch of Destiny TikToks. I'm like, dude, you know you're not getting me back, right? But what would it take? Shit you can't do. What do you mean?
Parsons leaving, Marathon being canceled, all the old crew being rehired.
Oh no, I could just I'm not even that far in it.
Just
I got a
Destiny be
list.
better.
I got a list. And you know what? A couple of YouTubers would get jobs at fucking Bungie. Like Bife for the lore shit. Right good shit. Bife and God, I can see there you go. I was gonna say I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. Get Bife, Mylan, and a couple of guys that they would select to go in there and head fucking writing. I got a whole list of sandbox changes. I got everything that everybody's ever paid for back in the fucking game. And several other things. But for the most part, yeah, like, it's a... Just roll a guillotine into Bungie and start. I'll come by when you should stop putting people through it. Figuratively. You know, realistically, you just need a hatchet man in HR. But, you know, matter of fact, I could use a hobby. I'll be the hatchet man in HR. No, it just God. So what are you doing, Scorp?
Me and venting a bit about Destiny.
When I joined, it less became venting and more just became discussion.
It is more discussion, but I mean, there has been some points that I can't help out. Like, you weren't watching my stream, were you, Google?
I couldn't get it to work.
I had your stream, the Twitch stream, and the YouTube stream open.
Quite literally. There was points, I know I mentioned that, I paused to vent my outrage. I paused the live stream, and there was literally moments where like, hey, we're gonna add a brand new firing range to Destiny, and I paused and went, there's still one in the crafting section, and we had one in the Hall of Opulence, but you got rid of it.
That's one thing that would immediately make the hey, bring this back. I want my fucking tribute hall back.
Or tribute hall.
And since I bought everything in there, it better fucking be fully stocked. Yeah, that's pretty high on the list. Because it used to be you didn't go into activities and shit with your full ammo. So me and my buddies would always stop at the tribute hall and go ahead and load up on ammo.
Google, did y'all ever do like during like 2-man nightfalls, like one person would leave, go to the tribute hall, and then rejoin when you're like
no, most of my friends are better at ammo management than that.
Okay.
I'm not giving you shit. I'm just saying, like, no, we didn't have to do that. The only thing that was really for, unless you were trying to glitch something, was, oh, I need ammo.
2-manning Tree of Probabilities Nightfall with Divinity in my hands.
See, that's the problem. You said the D word. You took the D word.
But I like Divinity.
You can like it, and that's totally fine. Love Divinity. Enjoy Divinity. Use your favorite weapon as often as, tactically feasible. You were using it when it wasn't tactically feasible.
We were dealing with a ton of Overload champions.
Okay.
So it was tactically feasible, technically.
It's not tactically feasible if you can't keep it fed.
I was still learning how to feather div.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. It's not tactically feasible if you can't keep it fed. Like there is no way around that one. Specifically. It doesn't matter what your technique is. You've got to be able to use the gun as you need it without having to bail. You know what I mean? So, not tactically feasible. If you give me a fucking M4 and tell me, well, I have to go make this last with a normal combat load of 210 rounds through like a 24-hour patrol, I'm going to pick and choose what I engage with that. I have limited supply. I can't just shoot at everything that I see, you know what I mean? So, same thing for Destiny. If you can't keep div fed, it doesn't matter how many champions you got. If you don't have ammo, you don't have a gun. And yeah, overloads suck, but that's where you tailor loadouts. If that means both of you are running overload weapons and you've got the overload grenade, then hey, shit, that happens. Bring Monarch. Monarch is unlimited ammo with overload. Now, it didn't have overload when we had the tribute hall, but
which is like back when I was doing that strat.
Yeah. But my point remains, there were other overload weapons in the game. Fuck that. And your div, if you are shooting the overload champ the whole time with div, you're doing it wrong anyway. If you have an ammo supply issue, you only shoot it for like 3 seconds. A second and a half preparing for the break. It breaks a second and a half afterward to keep that crit spot up and then switch. Count to 3 and do it again, But not tactically feasible.
And that's the main reason why in the endgame content I usually bring a double primary for anti-champ, because there is no chance of running out of ammo.
Yeah, buddy.
I really miss doing higher tier content.
I miss wanting to.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
I miss playing Destiny with a bunch of my friends. And that's just gonna happen like with any game.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I suppose the watch party's
I
over.
miss
so I'm
playing
gonna...
GTA with it.
No, don't
Same
even bring
thing.
that up.